All right, time for me to sit down with Nika, the soul laner for SSG. And Nika, it's been quite a career for you, and I'm
Yep.
excited for this interview because I actually was telling a story the other day on my podcast about you that we'll get into in just a little bit. But
Oh no.
Hinduman usually starts these off by looking at the SMITE wiki. I've pulled yours up.
I don't think there's
Unfortunately,
much there.
there is not much here. Yeah, you absolutely
I
nailed
don't.
it. But
I don't think anyone keeps that up to date. So got to get someone on that maybe.
well, here's where we start. We're going to give them a bevy of information about you, and you're going to be the first. You're going to be the first adjustment. Says you were born in Georgia, but you live
Yep.
in Hastings, England. So walk me through the early years of Nika.
I don't remember too much, but I think when I was like 5 or 6, like I moved to England, and in Georgia I don't really remember much. Like all I remember is I knew I was moving to England at some point. So I just taught myself English, which was pretty cool. I was
Wow.
just like watching shows and cartoons and figuring out as much as I could. And I don't know, ever since I moved to England, like life was pretty normal. Like only child, so no siblings or anything, like no stories like that, but just went to school, played some sports, but nothing too serious, then just got into gaming and yeah, not much else really.
Forgive my ignorance, but it's typical American. What language did you grow up speaking? I don't know what people speak in Georgia.
Um, so we speak Georgian, and I was speaking Russian there. It's like the secondary language, but like when I moved to England and like focused on English, I kind of forgot the Russian part. Just
Hmm.
kind of unlucky, but maybe one day I'll tap back into that
Yeah,
area.
it's waiting beneath the surface for you for sure. Do
Yeah,
your parents still do they speak majority English or do they try and
yeah.
still speak Georgian?
They both speak like English, Russian, and Georgian, so they're chilling.
Okay, they got the trifecta going. So you mentioned some sports growing up in England. What were the what were you dominating in your younger
I mean, it
years?
was nothing like serious. It was just like primary school, secondary school. I don't know what you call it here, but just like
Yeah,
football occasionally, rugby very casually. Um, and that's the main things really. I did some judo for like half a year maybe, but
hmm,
got pretty bored of that. I don't know. I never really like committed to anything other than gaming eventually, but like
sure.
it was like some sports at the start, but nothing too serious really.
Who's your football team that you root for?
Chelsea.
Oh, don't
Uh,
let Hindu Man hear that. He hates Chelsea.
oh, he's a United fan, right? Unbelievable.
Well, he's
I
from
think he is.
Manchester. I think he no, I think he's City. I think he's Man
Oh,
City, if
no
I had to
way,
guess.
no way. I'm pretty sure he's United, but maybe I'll find out. But
Maybe. United feels
y-
too like posh, right? Like they're too good for Hindu Man to like them.
well,
I
they're
feel like that's like part of the
like City
draw.
have only been good like the last like 10 years, really. So I don't know. I feel like he'd be
Yeah,
more of like
maybe.
an OG fan.
He's
But
gonna yell
yeah,
at both of us for not knowing, for the record.
I'm like 80% sure it's United. I don't know why. I
Okay.
just have a
All right.
feeling.
Fair enough. For what it's worth, I played a lot of FIFA. Me and my friends played a whole lot of
Oh,
sports games growing up, and
yeah.
I was always a fan of Chelsea.
Yeah,
That was
I'm a
my
big
Premier
FIFA
League
fan
team.
as well. Already pre-ordered my like FIFA 21, looking forward to that. Pretty much play it
Maybe
every year.
I grab it and put you in the dirt
Yeah, I
just for
mean, you
fun.
definitely
I don't know.
should, get in the pro clubs with us maybe. We got a squad,
Okay,
so
that could be fun for sure. So when did you mentioned gaming that you were always kind of into it? What were some of your early games that you really got into that you loved as
I
a kid?
always remember in Georgia playing like Tekken and Mortal Kombat a lot. I don't know why. Like those are the games I
The
just always
typical
remember.
4 or 5 year old games, Mortal
Yeah, like
Kombat.
I just always remember it, dude. And I was insane. Okay, all I remember is I was insane, undefeated. But
Wow.
single player games, I remember playing Spyro a lot.
Yep.
Um, GTA San Andreas, obviously played that a lot. Loved that game. And then just like FIFAs and Pro Evos and stuff like that mainly. I don't know, like I never played like Zelda and stuff. Like
Mm,
it's nothing I was really into. I just mainly played PlayStation games my whole life.
sure.
So yeah, that's
A
about it.
lot of Spyro and Crash Bandicoot for you, huh?
Yeah, Crash Bandicoot as well. Ratchet and Clank, I remember that as
Yep.
well. It's a good one.
Yep. Loved those as well. So when did you find Smite? What was the introduction to the
Mm,
game for you?
so I was always a console gamer until like all my friends were getting PCs and like moving over to PC gaming a bit. So I got one as well, like 2012. So that's when Smite was like in beta, and
Yep.
my friend had like 2 or 3 codes, and he gave me one. And at first, I really didn't like the game because it was the first game that I played like a MOBA. It just felt so different, and I couldn't get used to it. But I got pretty hooked like 2 or 3 months into it, and eventually I was the only one that kept playing like out of my friends, other than like 1 or 2 others. Uh, but yeah, it was like a slow and steady process of getting into the game.
What was your friend's reaction whenever you started playing professionally and you were trying to compete? Were they surprised at all?
I mean, they were always surprised that like esports is so like so well developed and big, I guess, because I remember at college, sometimes I'd have to take time off to go to lands, and they'd be like super surprised, like, "What? Like, you get paid to go out and play games like in America and like miss school, like you're so lucky and stuff." And like some of my teachers would hate it, like they'd like always be mad at me, like calling me out in class and stuff. But eventually, they like realized that it's such like a good experience and opportunity, and kind of just like went along with it.
Yeah, what was the first LAN that you went to? Was it season 3, the group stage LAN?
Yeah, that was my first one. Yeah, that
That's
was
what
a
I
good
thought.
one.
That was an interesting one for sure. That was my first LAN as a commentator, so I remember it pretty well. What was that your first time in America coming to that LAN?
Yeah, yeah, it was.
How
It was
different was it
with
than what you
Penguin, right?
expected? Yes, yeah.
Um,
Was it what you expected?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I don't really know what expectations I had, but I always wanted to go to America. Like growing up, like my mom as well, she was always like, "Oh, I know you'll end up in America," or something like that. She always knew it. Like I've always liked America, and I was just always like really excited to go there eventually. And luckily, Smite helped me get there.
What was your parents' reaction whenever you first started playing Pro Smite? Were they supportive, or were they also a little
Yeah,
bit
they've
confused?
been really supportive like the whole time really. Like my dad for a tiny bit was like, "Oh, why are you playing this kids game so much?" and stuff like that. But eventually he realized like, "Oh, like this is like a pretty good opportunity." And ever since then they've been like really supportive. Like they've never questioned me like moving out here for SPL and stuff. Like they've always been they always say they miss me and stuff. They wish like there was another way like I could be there and play, but they're always fine with me like moving out here and playing, which is really like good to have that support.
Absolutely. What are some of the things that you miss about home? I just had one of these with Netroid a little bit ago, and he was saying that he really misses the food
Yes,
from Peru.
dude,
What
that
do you
is
miss?
it's definitely my parents' cooking in general. I mean, here is like I'm not bad in the kitchen. Like I can cook the basics, but I don't really have those like specialty dishes. You know, there's a lot of orders in the space station house, so cooking is
Are you the
definitely top of the list.
Are you the best cook in the space station house?
I want to say I'm up there. I'm competing with
Who's
probably
your competition?
daughters probably. I don't know.
Hmm.
I feel like Rafa might be up there as well, but I don't see him much in the kitchen. We have like different schedules, but yeah, definitely
Sure.
between me, him and daughters, I'd say.
We should get a Food Network style cooking showdown going between
That could be
teams.
good.
Like you guys team up, some Iron Chef sort of
Yeah,
scenarios.
that would be good.
Space station versus other teams. That's a content idea right there for sure. So you first started playing Smite. Your friends kind of introduce you. They fall off the wagon. You're still going. What was it you think that really hooked you in and really got you really invested in the game?
Um, that's honestly a good question, but I think it was mainly just like how in depth the game was. Like there's always something to learn. I feel like even now, like I can just like hop into a ranked game, like a random interaction happens, and it's like, oh, like yeah, I didn't even know that. I've played the game for like 6 years now, but you're always learning something and progressing, and like you can like see improvements really well. Which in other games, I don't really feel that I've played, but in Smite it just stuck completely.
What was the first time that you felt like you were getting pretty good before you started joining teams and that kind of stuff? Do you remember?
Um, was it? It was end of season 2, I think. Like I never like the aim was never like go pro and stuff like that. Like I never played Challenger Cup or anything like that. I always just played the game casually, and then eventually like summer of season 2, I started playing ranked a lot. I think it was season 2. It must have been. like end of the year pretty much, and I was getting like pretty high ranked, and SunTouch was hosting like a lot of pro in houses, and he'd invite me a lot to those. Like, and I wasn't really known. I was just a ranked player. So
Mm-hmm.
like that was kind of like the first sign, and then they did like Hires did a combine, like the original one where it was like talent scouting or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like one of the people they highlighted or whatever. So it was like, oh, like I'm actually, I guess I must be good, because like I'm getting picked for these in houses and then doing well in this combine thing, and then Badger and Cherry asked me to try out for leftovers, which was like they were like trying to qualify for SPL, and I was up against Young Bay. Young Bay was the other tryout, and
Wow.
like I think Badger wanted Young Bay because like they were friends and team before,
Right.
and then but then like I tried out and they were like, okay, like he probably has a lot more potential or whatever, and like getting picked for that team kind of made me like, okay, maybe I should like try and put a bit more time into it. But it was hard, like because I did want to focus on school. Like I wanted to do well in school over like doing really well in Smite for a while, but as time went on and like I finished school, I was able to put way more time into the game.
Yeah. So you said you were at university. Did you
No, like
have you put that on?
before
Oh, before
university, like
university.
yeah,
Okay.
like you call it college in America, right? Like university.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, like college is like before uni. That's where I was, and then I finished that in like before the mouse season. Was that season 5? It was,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think
So
so.
yeah,
Yeah.
for season 5, so at end of season 4, I was coaching because I was like finishing college. I finished college and then I got a uni place, but I also got an SPL offer. So I was like, okay, I'm pretty young. I can just like put uni on hold for a few years and see what I can do in SPL. Like, because before that, like I wasn't really able to put the time I think I needed into Smite to do well. But then ever since season 5, when I just went like full time Smite, like I could feel myself like rapidly improving.
Hmm.
And obviously, like every year, I feel like I've just gotten way better compared to like season 3, 4, and then like 5, 6, 7.
So again, American ignorance here. In college, do you have a specific like for America when we go to college, which is your
Yeah,
university, we have like a specific major, that we
yeah,
try
yeah.
and study. Is
I
that the
w-
case in colleges for you?
so in college we did 3 subjects. I was doing business economics and politics,
Mm.
and then I had a uni place for business, marketing, and economics, something like that. I don't really remember honestly. Like I've moved on. I've moved on. But
You
it's
pushed
something.
all that knowledge
Yeah,
out and
it's
really
gone. It's gone for
absorbed
now. Yeah,
exactly how much
hey,
damage King Arthur will do at level 7.
it was business management and economics. I remember now.
Okay.
But
All right.
yeah,
Is
put that
that
on
what you want to
hold.
get back into
I don't know. Like
whenever it's
that's the
time?
thing. Like that was what I was really good at school. Like those are the subjects that stood out. But like playing Smite and like taking time off of education is like kind of made me realize that maybe it's not what I want to do, and I need to put some more thought into it at some point. But for now, I'm just like fully focused on this.
Yeah.
Still got some time, I think.
Absolutely makes sense. When you were just starting to get noticed and ranked and that kind of stuff, or when you were first starting the game, were there any like big name players that you really looked up to? Any streams that you would watch all the time?
So I would always watch like Lasses, Zapman, Barra. They were like the top 3 really. I don't think I watched EU players that much, other than I'd always watch SunTouch because his
Hmm.
streams were like the most content EU. Those are the queues you wanted to be in as well. But
Yep.
yeah, I think Lassus and Zap I watched like the most for sure back in the day. And then Barra, as soon as he like sometimes the old dig team would like stream scrims, I think.
Hmm.
And I remember Barra like stomped him one time. It was like Vicious and Delicious, I think they were
Yep.
called. I
Yep.
was like, oh my god, this guy's so good. I gotta watch him. And then started watching Barra a lot as well.
The old V&D squad, a legendary
Yeah,
NA team for sure. Now, Nika, you have become a streamer, and now your queues are the ones that people are trying to
I
hit. How
guess, yeah.
is that a little bit weird for you now?
I like it, dude. Like, so the first game of every stream is terrible. Like, no one is in queue, but it's like it's fine. Like, if I stay strong here, then I know the next one. Like, we're gonna see some names, some big names. So, I mean, it's always good knowing that like you'll have like good quality games compared to if I was just to randomly queue or like snipe someone else. But yeah, I don't know. I've enjoyed streaming recently for sure, but people sniping definitely helps. Like I don't care that people snipe or whatever. Like it adds to the fun for me for
As
sure.
soon as Jim the Gymnast gets in there,
Yes, like
the queue is
dude, when
hopping.
Jim gets in there, like that's when things get serious in the solo lane.
Yeah, you got to
You gotta
turn it
watch
up
out for
a
that
little bit.
guy.
Yeah, you gotta ramp up the try hard for sure.
Yeah,
You've teamed with Cherry in particular for a long time. You, Cherry, and
and Dardes
Dardes
now. Yeah,
have kind of
yeah.
become this trio. What's it like being with those two guys in particular for a long time? How do you think you guys interact?
I don't know. It's like we're just like so friendly. Like we just like joke around a lot, like as if we've been like best friends forever. You know, it feels like I don't know. Like I've teamed with Cherry for 4 years. He's teamed with Dardes for 3, and I've teamed with Dardes for 3. It's like we know like everything about like how we play the game, and we know like quite a lot about each other's lives. And I guess it's always good to have people that you can just like talk to casually. And it's the same with Vote and Rafa. Like we're just like a really friendly team, and we don't take things like that seriously. Like let's say we're playing badly or whatever, we're not gonna like hate each other. We're gonna be fine with it. We're gonna like joke around and like move on with it and like fix stuff, which is always good. I feel like some teams might not have that. I'm not sure really, but like we have that like really like friendly environment for sure. But like obviously we like BM each other a lot, but that just comes with being friendly with each other for sure.
That's European banter. You know, that's
Yeah.
part of the culture,
That's
right?
true.
At least that's
Yeah,
what Hindu Man tells me when he's being mean to me, and he says, "No, don't
yeah.
worry,
You
it's
have
European
to. You
banter."
have to.
Yeah.
Tough love.
That's all it is. So over there for sure. Are there any SPL games or just competitive games in general that stand out to you in your memory, like ones that you can remember a little bit better
Good
than
or
other ones?
bad.
Yeah, either one. Yeah, either one.
Trust me, I remember getting reverse sweeped by SK. I don't think I'll ever forget that. Whew. Um, Winning MSI, obviously I'll remember that because it was the first LAN I won. But I don't know. I think we were just so far ahead of every other team, so it's not like a memory of like, oh, these games are really close or whatever. It was just like, wow, like we were like actually the best team then, which does feel good.
Hmm.
But what losing worlds like reverse sweep, like that will always be in my mind, and we made so many mistakes there that like I'll probably always remember and like won't make those same mistakes again, you know, which is good.
Yeah.
It's good to like take that from a bad loss. But yeah, that's gonna scar me for life unless we get the rebound, you know, and win worlds this year.
Yeah, that's that could be in the cards, man. You guys have been playing pretty well. Do you
Yeah, not
are you
too
the type
bad.
of player? In my experience talking to players, there's two types of SPL players.
Mm.
One that remember if I'm like, "Hey, Aurora, do you remember what happened in your season 4 phase 2 week 3 game against Barra?" And he's like,
That's
"Yeah, we
me.
picked Ares."
That's
Like,
me.
is
I
that you?
remember pretty much. I feel like I remember pretty much everything, like random stuff. It's like I'd be talking to like daughters, like, oh, like yeah, you were playing this like 3 years ago in scrims against this team, and he'd be like, wait, what? Like really? Like I just always remember like random stuff for sure.
What is there one that no one else seems to remember between Cherry and Dardes that you're like, yes, guys, this
Um,
totally happened.
I'm not sure. Wait, let me think. I mean, there's been a lot of troll picks in scrims for sure. Daughters like one that always stands out is we were scrimming an SML team on mouse. It
Mm-hmm.
was Victoria's Secrets, which was Spud's team. See, I remember
Yep.
that. And it
Yep.
was before phase 1. And we get into game 3, I think, game 3, 4, you know, near the end of the session. And Dardes just locks Sasano support. And we're like, it's fine, you know, like maybe he's been playing Ravana support Fenrir, maybe he's got something in the locker. Literally builds boots and then full crit chance. And completely ints the game. I don't know what this guy's thinking, but he he'll probably remember that as well. I'm pretty sure he does, and Cherry as well. But it was just like the most random thing ever. Like Dardes has gotten away with a lot of things in his career, just completely trolling, and people just will never know.
You mean we're not going to see the full crit Susano mid anytime
I
soon?
mean,
For
I
you
hope
sure not
not. I
leaking any
hope
strats?
not. I mean, I hope not. Like, I don't know what he's been working on behind the scenes, but I hope it's not Sasano.
Hey man, there's a time and a place for everything. He's just waiting for the perfect
Yeah,
draft to
and
come up.
hopefully he's put some time into it at least before he whips it out.
I will say that both as a player and as a caster, I'm more in that camp as well. I'm usually pretty good at remembering specific details. And what I
Yeah,
teased at the very beginning was that I had just had a conversation about you in particular the other day
I'm
on our
worried here.
podcast. No. Well, okay, you should be a little bit worried at first because I remember very distinctly that LAN that you played for Sanguine season 3, and that
Yeah.
you were getting a lot of hype from some community members about how you were going to pop off and how you were going to be really sick. And in my recollection, that was not your strongest LAN performance. In fact, I
Really?
remember Sanguine. You guys kind of got dragged by your bootstraps by Arkil on Anhur, just absolutely pogging off
No,
that LAN, if I
wait.
remember correctly.
The way I remember is like everyone thought I was bad, but then like
There,
I remember like so we played against Dig first game. It was like Frosty, Ducky, Shadow Nightmare, Big Man, and Sun.
yep,
And they did an interview with Frosty, and he said, "If you get soloed by Nika, you should be ashamed." First wave of that game, I get a solo kill. Just so you know. Okay, no one thought I was pretty bad. Okay, I'll admit that.
oh, sure,
Looking back at
sure,
it, yeah, I was bad. But I was new as well. Keep that in mind. No, I don't think
of
anyone
course,
thought I do. I don't think anyone thought I'd do really well, but I did quite well. I think. Obviously, Arkil popped off. Can't deny that. And
yep,
Cherry popped off as well. But
yep.
I think I did pretty good. I remember some good games on Bologna. But
Yeah, I'm not saying you inted
I
every
did
game.
no, okay, no. I did well at the group stage, but really bad at super regionals. That's what I remember. I think I got like hyped
Yes,
from group stage, and then
that's what it was.
I completely like the bed. You know, like it was not good at super regionals.
Yes,
But
I remember that. Yeah, that's a much better timeline because
yeah, yeah,
I remember then moving forward. I mean, as casters, we kind of get our preconceived notions of players and how good they are, how bad
yeah,
they are. And I was like, man, Nika is like he's good enough to be in the SPL, but I always thought you were kind of like on the bubble, you know,
yeah.
like if a
I
if
was like
SML Soul
definitely.
started popping off, like we're looking at who could be replaced in the SPL. That was where your name was, and then every single year, especially starting season 5, it was like,
Yeah,
man, okay, Nika on mouse, we'll see how he does. We're not super sure, and then it's okay, Nika's popping off, and then it's okay, Nika's not on that bubble anymore. He is solidly middle of the pack SPL solo laner,
yeah.
and then it was well, all of a sudden, Nika's, winning games for his team almost
I
by
mean, God
himself,
bless
and it's
King Arthur, man. He
God
came
bless
at the
King
right time.
Arthur.
He came at the right time.
Like you're popping off, and the question was, Bear asked me if I could remember any player arcs that really stand out on where I was wrong about something and kind of got proven wrong over the course of time, and I said that your career was one that
Hmm,
really stood out to
appreciate that.
me. So the it makes sense, just hearing a little bit about behind the scenes. Season 5 is when you said you started taking
Yeah, for
taking some
sure.
time to really
It
do
was
it. Do you
like
feel that same way?
yeah, so I remember it perfectly. Like, so I didn't play solo all of season 4. I was on like the bad sanguine. Like, I was playing ADC then jungle, and it was just like it was a
Oh
mess. Like,
yeah,
it was
yeah.
like a troll. It was a troll year. Let's get it out the way. It doesn't exist in my mind. Um, and then start of season 5. Like, I hadn't played solo for like a year, but I mean, I knew I could be good because I'm finally putting time into the game properly. And then first phase, I played pretty bad, but I was still like getting the hang of it. And then phase 2 and 3, I feel like I improved like a lot. And then by the time super regionals came around, I like I thought I was like the top 3 in EU personally, which like was the first time ever. So I had like a lot of confidence. And I
Mhm.
think I played pretty well at that super regionals. We lost anyway. It was like the dumb Guardian meta where like solo laners were kind of
Oh
useless.
yeah, right.
Like
Yep.
I was really good at stacking Guardian's Blessing, you know, like I excelled in that.
Beast.
But yeah, I don't know. I was like, and then heading into season 6, I was like, yeah, I mean, I have a good team that like will help me play well. So yeah, I'll see what I can do. I'm pretty confident, and I think it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned King Arthur there. I assume that we might hear his name again here soon. Who are some of your favorite gods to play, or who is your favorite god to play?
Okay, Anhur will always be my favorite. That god is like never boring. Hitting that pillar stun with a nice ult and just killing that guy, like it's timeless. So
Yeah,
Anhur's like my favorite god for sure. And then
really. I
always
thought we might hear. I've got a. I had a guess, but I'll let you finish, and then
okay.
I'll get tell you my
So
guess.
I've always liked Bologna. She's like my most played god, but I don't know if she's my favorite. She's like top 5 maybe, you know, like Had a lot of
Okay.
good games with her, good moments. Obviously, King Arthur Yorm. People call them cringe gods, but there's a lot of cringe gods, but people just don't like to admit it. I'll admit it. They're cringe, but they're fun. So
Sure.
I've enjoyed those for sure. I don't know why,
I
but
don't know, man. I didn't have that much fun on my last Yorm game. Just I don't know.
I did kind of counterpick you, but you did steal my pick. That was kind of uncalled for. I literally told you in my stream, I am picking Yorm, and you just locked it. I could not believe it.
Well, I said Panda. I was on Panda Cat's team, and I said, Panda, he's gonna pick Yorm. What should I pick? And he said, just take Yorm. And I didn't think about the ramifications of doing that.
Yeah, I mean,
I
it's fine. You'll know next time.
Yeah, I know better now.
But recently, I've been loving some like Hebo Anubis. You know, I've added those gods to my. They're kind of up there right now for sure. But yeah, I'd say like
I thought we were
Bologna
gonna hear about the Noth, the Thoth for you. You
See,
always seem to have fun playing that.
That's a weird one. Like, it feels like people like me on Thoth more than I like Thoth. You know, it's like played one SPL game, we won. Sure, nice, 100% win rate.
Yep.
He's probably one of my most played mages, but I'm not like obsessed with him. You know, like there's definitely mages I prefer playing. Like, I actually like playing Nuar a lot. I don't know why. Just like alpha Nuar, you know, like fog plays. You know, get in the fog, get in the back line, right? Like just
stack up that passive, insta-root someone.
Nox as well. That's a god I like. People are gonna hate me for that, but
I'm sensing a trend here. You use the phrase "cringe gods," and I'm kind of sensing a bit of a trend here.
No, but that's the thing. Like, I don't always play those gods. I try and like hold them for special moments. You know.
Okay.
But
all right. That's
a
treat.
My like favorite god always changes, but in comp it's probably Arthur. Like that Arthur Yorm. Like that year was so fun. Season 6. Like just getting to play those gods when they were super OP and like no one knew what to do against them, like it was just so fun, for sure.
I think it worked out pretty well for you that year as well. You were kind of popping off
pretty good
on those picks. What are some? I mean, obviously, winning a world championship is something that every Smite player wants to do, whether they've done it yet or not. But what are some of the other things? Are there any other goals that you have when it comes to Smite? Is it continuing to grow as a streamer, or you want to be considered the best solo laner in the league? Like, what are some of the things that you want to do before you're done?
Probably both of those things. I mean, I never streamed like seriously. It was always like 1 week on and then like 1 month off. But I've started streaming every day, and it does feel good, like seeing the same people in your stream like every day, like just grinding and growing. So that's definitely something I'm like working on a lot now. And just being seen as the best for sure, like that's motivation. Like when people just say you're the best, like you're always gonna feel good. Like you can't deny that, right? So I think winning worlds will always be at the top. Like everyone wants to win worlds. Like even if I play bad and my team carries me, like I'll be happy, you know. But hopefully I do well, obviously. Like MVP is another thing. Like obviously everyone would like to win MVP. That would feel good. But then, yeah, like being seen as the best and growing the stream, like that's probably what you said. Like those are the 2 other things for sure.
All right, here's the ultimate question for your selflessness, Nika. You only get to choose one: a Chelsea championship or a Space Station Gaming championship this year.
Space Station. Chelsea have won enough, dude. The most successful club in England for the last decade, by the way. So
I wonder if you gained or lost fans with that answer. You know,
I don't care.
Like some Radiance Chelsea fans were like, man, if Nika just says Chelsea here, maybe I switch over to Space Station. Now
look, they don't need my decision, okay? They're gonna win anyway, okay? Maybe it's time for me and the boys to win something, you know?
Yeah, it certainly could be your year, man. You've been having a great one. Thanks so much for taking the time to sit down with me, and we'll see you in the Nika queue later on tonight, okay?
Thanks.